Okay, your name?
Daniel Lutz.
And you are running for House of Delegates in West Virginia. What district?
66th, which is the south end of Jefferson County.
Okay. Who is your opponent?
Well, I have no opponent in the primary.
You're in the Mountain Party primary? Yes. Is there a Democrat?
No.
Is there? Who's the incumbent?
The incumbent is Paul Espinosa.
Who is Paul Espinosa?
He's a phantom. He is the office manager of Frontier Communications Office in Ranson, West Virginia.
And why are you running for delegate?
Well, last year I requested my delegate to introduce two pieces of legislation. One a GMO labeling bill, the other a cottage industries bill similar to that of 21 other states.
What is a cottage industry bill?
Well, we're trying to keep this short. Cottage industries bill would allow people with homes and farms to create and produce their own jams, jellies, fruits, vegetables, candies, baked goods, and such, up to $75,000 a year, without having to meet the industrial kitchen regulations and land use regulations that are being imposed upon such efforts now.
Okay. 21 other states have that.
Yes.
Okay. He refused you on both, or just ignored you?
He refused to entertain either one for introduction, even by request.
Did he get back to you?
No, he didn't.
Okay, so he ignored you. So he ignored you, and you said, okay.
You got an opponent.
You've got an opponent. And now, also, you put out a press release yesterday about property taxes in Jefferson County?
Yes.
Tell us about, in a nutshell, what that's about.
Ever so briefly, I've discovered that the multinational corporations listed as public utility corporations in West Virginia on the state auditor's website do not pay any, not one nickel, of real property tax to the counties. Now,
what real property do they have in Jefferson County?
Okay, give you for an example, Norfolk Southern and CSX have those rights of way for their railroad tracks, which they sublease to telecommunications companies.
Is there anybody in the county in a position of authority who agrees with you on this?
Well, apparently, Assessor Angie Banks agrees, because we took a tour and I showed her what I was talking about, and she says she's going to bring this up at the state assessors conference, and she's going to investigate with the state tax department to find out why this isn't being done.
How much money is being lost?
Good question. I anticipate that it's between $3 and $5 million a year just to Jefferson County. Now, probably there's $1 million along CSX right-of-way being lost in Morgan County.
Is there any county in West Virginia that assesses that tax?
No.
Is there any county in the United States that assesses that tax?
It's allowed in Louisiana and Maine.
And those are the only two states that do it?
Yes.
How much money do they raise a year?
That I haven't looked into. But in January, I brought this up to Delegate Stephen Skinner, who said he would look into it, and he did, and he introduced a bill by request that would have given the counties the authority to levy these taxes. But by not having sponsors, it didn't go anywhere. These corporations are skating by scot-free, as they've done for 100 years, without paying any taxes.
You also have an interesting take on how we could fund our governments more efficiently with something called the Tobin tax. Give us Tobin tax.
Well, that would have to be at the national level. But in a nutshell, every dollar that's traded on the major stock exchanges, commodity exchanges, bonds, ADRs, derivatives, all these creative investments, 0.2%, if we had had the tax in place in 2011, would have been approximately $30 trillion to the Treasury, of which we would begin by taking 20% of it to begin to pay down the national debt. Second 20%, we would enact the equivalent of a Manhattan Project to become energy self-sufficient within 5 years. Third 20% will go to make our education world-class. Fourth 20% will be to fund a single-payer national health care system. And the last 20% for research and development and infrastructure improvements and repairs.
Okay.